I'm Julie Fei Fan Balzer, your host for Make It Artsy. Today, we're expanding the definition of art with a contemporary pioneer, Andy Warhol. So we're going to use photo editing software to create one of his iconic looks. Now, Andy Warhol actually used silk screens, different layered silk screens with registration marks to create his works, which were of lots of different famous people, from Chairman Mao to Marilyn Monroe. Now, what I've done is taken a photo of myself, and I've just used photo editing software to alter it. Now, you can either do a composition of 4, as you see that I have here, or you can do just one single big image, whatever you want. So we're just gonna go ahead now and open up our photo editing software and get started. And the first thing that you need to do is you wanna bring up the curves panel, because what we wanna do is we wanna up the contrast so that we really see the difference between the front and the back. And you're gonna go a little unrealistic with this. And when you're done, you just say, okay. Now, we need to get rid of that background. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the lasso tool. And this is just a tool that allows you to draw around what you wanna get rid of. Don't worry about being precise here. You just wanna get the very basic idea of it. If you cut a little bit off, it's not gonna matter in the long run. So don't stress about it. Have fun with it. And just go ahead and do your best. Now, obviously, it makes it a little bit easier if your figure, it's just head and shoulders and they have their arms tucked in. So once I have that, I'm actually going to go ahead up to select and choose the inverse, because I want the opposite of it. And I'm just gonna hit the delete key to delete out that background. And I'm gonna hit OK. So now you can see my photo is isolated, so I'm going to deselect it. And now I'm gonna go up to the filter gallery. And in the filter gallery, this is a really cool area to explore if you're an artist, because there are a lot of options for you. So I'm gonna use this cutout filter right here, but you can see you can change it in all sorts of different ways to make your photo have all kinds of different arty things. But I want the cutout filter. And what the cutout filter does is it brings it down into a couple colors. And you can choose the number of levels. You can up them, or you can make it lower. It can be whatever you want it to be. Once I'm happy, I simply say, okay. And now I have this kind of cool arty photo, but it's not enough. I still wanna alter it even more. So I'm gonna go up to image, and you can see how it says adjustments. And yes, I wanna make some adjustments. So you can play with the channel mixer here. And the channel mixer, if you hit the monochrome button, do you see how it goes black and white? So you can actually alter that a little bit by playing in here, but I actually wanna keep it out of the black and white. And I want it to go a little more colored. Can you see how that color's getting added in to be kind of fun? So I'm gonna go ahead and play with the sliders, and all of this is just having fun experimenting. I'm gonna say, okay, when I'm happy. Then I'm gonna crop it into a square. So I'm gonna set my ratio to be a 1x1 square, and just get the portion that I want. So again, I'm the artist, I'm in control of what's happening. So I have the portion that I want. I'm gonna say okay. Now see how there are polka dots on my shoulder. There's a problem there, which is it's the same color as the background, and I wanna protect that polka dot. So I'm just gonna draw in a shoulder line, and again, this is messy, this is not precise, I'm just closing the gap. Now that that gap is closed, I'm ready to use the paint bucket tool to fill the background. So I can go ahead and choose my color. I'm gonna use this yellow here. And I just click in the background, and now it has filled it, but I've kept the integrity of the shoulder, right? Because I did that black line. So now I'm gonna open a new canvas. And I just want it to be a square of any size. We can adjust it. I like the flexibility of Photoshop because you can make adjustments. And I'm gonna separate it out a little bit. And I'm gonna make this window slightly smaller just to make my workspace easier. Now, the next thing is I'm just gonna go ahead and drag this and drop it onto my new canvas. So now I have a yellow one dropped. I'm gonna go back up to image adjustments, and I'm gonna go with hue saturation. Now, if I play with the hue, you can see that the color changes. So I can say, okay, and let's drag that one onto the new canvas. And now let's continue to play with this so you can really see how you do not have to go through all of that work of, creating different cell screens and registration marks. You get to just have the modern fun of a computer to be able to change your image, to customize it however you want. So one more to give us 4, because I like even numbers. So once I have my 4 pieces, I'm gonna go ahead now and just arrange them into a grid. Now, if they're too big for your space, not to worry, go ahead and drag around to select them all, and then you're gonna hold the Shift key and make them smaller so that they'll all fit. And then I'm going to arrange them in a pleasing manner so that I have all 4 arranged. And you can play around with this as much as you want if you think there's a logic to how they should all go. But then all that's left is to go ahead and crop it in. And now I have something really fantastic that is a fun take on pop art that I can go ahead and print out in any way I choose. Now just remember, pop art is about things that are current, that are fresh. You could do this with your favorite star, with your kids. It would be a great idea to put up on the wall.